Nowadays, we've come to use the term cook and chef interchangeably as someone that knows how to make delicious food. But just knowing how to make a tasty dish is not enough to distinguish a great chef from the others. These days, chefs need to be super creative. They need knowledge of diverse ingredients or how to put a new spin on an old dish, or just that distinct combination to make it irresistibly delicious. Nowadays, chefs need all of these things to be distinguished from the rest. Over 100 years ago, back when Thailand was still Siam, there was a new term coined. It was Hua Pa. Hua Pa was used to describe, and still to this day, someone who has a unique, rare talent at making complex Thai dishes. In Thai, Hua Pa also has another meaning. It means the northernmost part of the forest, which describes a little bit about where we are here today, in the Hua Pa district of the northernmost forested part of Singburi province in the Central Plains. Now, Singburi province has centuries of legends and folklore to learn about, but we're here to discover a unique culinary delicacy with its own story to tell. Singburi is a relatively small province, but its significance in Thai history is anything but ordinary. This is the place where in the 18th century, the legendary villagers of Bangrajan fought off Burmese attackers for 5 long months in an effort to stop them from reaching the then capital of Ayutthaya. It's also a place with iconic landmarks, from beautiful temples with magnificent Buddha statues to abundant forests and rivers that run throughout the region, all of which explains why the key ingredient in many dishes around here is fish. And I've come to learn about one unique local delicacy in particular, and that is Plara Hua Tan, fermented fish curry with toddy palm. We've been lucky enough to meet Kru Tuk or Teacher Tuk. She's the local expert, the resident historian of all things Hua Pa. She's going to teach us the backstory, the full legend of this unique dish that's very hard to find. Kru Tuk ครับ
ค่ะ
ช่วยเล่าให้ฟังได้ไหมครับว่าที่มาที่ไปของต้มปลาร้าหัวตาลคืออะไรครับ
ที่มาที่ไปของต้มปลาร้าหัวตาลและหลายๆเมนูเนี่ยนะคะในตำนานของแม่ครัวหัวป่าเนี่ยจะเกิดจากท่านคุณหญิงโหมดนะคะซึ่งท่านเป็นบุตรีของเจ้าเมืองพรหมบุรีปีพุทธศักราช 2449 ท่านก็ได้ทำอาหารถวายพระบาทสมเด็จพระจุลจอมเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัวซึ่งท่านเสด็จประพาสต้นมาเยี่ยมบ้านหัวป่าแห่งนี้นะคะ
Kru Tuk explained the legend of this dish in the Hua Pa community originated from a story over 100 years ago. In 1906, when His Majesty King Jula Jomklao Chao Yuhua, or King Rama V, traveled up the Chao Phraya River on vacation, stopping at Wat Chalon Temple in Hua Pa. In preparation for this royal visit, the head of the village designated that his daughter, the esteemed Lady Kun Ying Mo, make all necessary arrangements for the welcome party, including bringing together the best chefs in the village to prepare sweet and savory dishes for His Majesty and his entourage. The chefs busily prepared rich curries, spicy aromatic noodles and soups, and sweet dishes made from coconuts and natural syrups. But there was one dish, above all others, that impressed King Rama V the most, none other than Plara Hua Tan. In fact, he liked it so much that he bestowed the prestigious title of Mae Krua Hua Pa to the local chefs of Hua Pa community. ปัจจุบันนี้ก็ยังมีคนทำเมนูนี้อยู่ไหมครับ
มีค่ะนอกจากจะทำในช่วงเทศกาลที่เป็นงานบุญต่างๆแล้วนะคะก็ยังมีอยู่ในวิถีชีวิตประจำวันคือในช่วงเดือนกุมภาพันธ์มีนาคมเมษายนเนี่ยเป็นช่วงของฤดูที่มีตาลออกผล
ถ้าผมอยากมาเรียนทำเมนูนี้ก็มีคนสอนได้ไหมครับ
แน่นอนค่ะมีคนสอนให้ค่ะเราต้องไปหาวัตถุดิบมาก่อน
First she said Daniel you got to go get the key ingredient the toddy palm Toddy palms, or sugar palms as they're called, are similar to coconut palms, and they grow all throughout Thailand. And they're both similar in that they both have fruit in which you eat the meat, and they both have juices that we make different types of palm sugar from. But it's the toddy palm, the fruit of the toddy palm, that is a key ingredient in a lot of both sweet and savory dishes. Right, Krutuk told me, Daniel, if you want to find Uncle Yod, he's known, you've got to walk out here into the beautiful green rice fields lined with toddy palms and sugar palms.
ลุงยอดครับ
I hear the voice.
อยู่นี่ครับ
There he is. We found him. Uncle Yod. ทำอะไรอยู่ครับ
ขึ้นตาล
Oh, no kidding. He said, I've climbed up a toddy palm tree. Even from here, it looks high, but I'm sure when you're up there, it's more like a Disneyland ride. ลุงยอดเราจะทำต้มปลาร้าหัวตาลแต่ไม่รู้ว่าจะเป็นลูกตาลแบบไหนที่ก็ต้องเลือก
มันมี2 อย่าง อย่างนี้พร้อมทำอาหารได้ อย่างนี้เราเฉาะกินเนื้อข้างใน ดูจากไอ้คาบหัวมันคาบหัวเนี่ยขาวเนี่ยลูกยังเล็กอยู่นี่ยังอ่อน
You clearly need an expert's eye because he looks at the exterior surface and the coloring along the skin and the outer husk and he knows exactly when it's too young, when it's not going to be ready for eating fresh, or when it's absolutely perfect and ripe and ready. To me, they look exactly the same, but that's why he's the expert. Juicy golden capsule.
นี่เราก็นำเอาไปทำอาหารเนี่ย
He said this is the part that you put into the tom pala hua tan. อันนี้พร้อมกินได้เลยใช่ไหมค
พ
รับ
ร้อมกินได้เลย
Look at
กิน
that.
สด
Gorgeous. He said these are ripe and ready to eat. Sugar palm and juice. Fantastic. Sweet, refreshing, natural. So ถามคุณลุงก่อนได้ไหมครับคุณลุงขึ้นไปเก็บลูกตาลมากี่ปีแล้วครับ
40 กว่าปีแล้ว
Uncle Yod is 68 years old. He's the 4th generation in his family to be climbing up the toddy palm trees. He was taught by his father and mother when he was in his 20s. Uncle Yod said, next, Daniel, you got to go back into the village with our toddy palms and find Chef Tip. Mẹ Tip. สวัสดีครับ แม่ Tip.
สวัสดีจ้า
And another chef, แม่แป๋ว สวัสดีครับ แม่แป๋ว เราจะเริ่มต้นอย่างไรครับ
เอานี่ต้มก่อน
Okay, now these are the toddy palms that we soak in a bit of salt water to make sure they don't go brown after slicing them thin. But the next step is to luộc or boil them for a few minutes to make them nice and soft. Otherwise, they'll be a bit hard like wood chips. ต้องรอนานเท่าไหร่ครับ
10 นาที
This is it. While we're waiting for it to boil, the bedrock of any Thai soup and curry is, of course, the curry paste. All right, we have shallots, garlic, galangal, lemongrass, finger root, white Thai pepper, mackerel, shrimp paste. Okay, วิธีการตำจะเริ่มต้นอย่างไรครับ
หั่นเครื่องก่อน
Rang. She's like, more, Daniel, you're being too timid. So you gotta pound it long, get all the juices, all the aromatics out of the herbs, leaves, roots. Aha. Oh. All right. ใช้ได้ แม่ทิพย์ก็ต้องทำอะไรต่อครับ
ตั้งกะทิ
Perfect. Waiting for the coconut cream to boil. This is time, the moment for the curry paste. Look at that, it's just like a mound. It's like a herbal garden in a mortar. That smell, absolutely incredible. I need to go like a man.
หางกะทิ
So the first time it was coconut cream, this time it's hangati, which is coconut milk, which is just a slightly more diluted version of the coconut cream. A little bit like milk and cream. Coconut curry base boiling. แล้วขั้นตอนต่อไปก็ลองทำอะไรครับ
เอาปลาร้ามาใส่
This is it. Thailand's famous fermented fish, or pala. This is a great example of preserving food to use as a savory additive for later. To make it, they take lean freshwater fish and they pack it with salt and then toasted unhusked rice. And then they stuff it into ceramic pots for a month or more until it ferments into this rich, syrupy, pungent extract known as pala or ladek in Thailand's northeastern Isan region. Now, at first exposure, it can be a little strong, like some of those Italian cheeses, or like Marmite. It's kind of a love it or hate it, but regardless of your opinion, it is an essential ingredient. She said, I have to taste this to believe it. Wow. Love it or hate it, it's an essential ingredient in almost every Thai soup or curry, and taking it on its own is pretty pungent. Here we go. Wow. Okay, what's next? Mu sam chan, pork belly. They call it mu sam chan because of the layers of fat, marbly, and meaty. Okay, ต่อไป น้ำตาล. Okay, here are the toddy palms ready to put into the tom pala, the curry. Has the texture almost like young coconut.
เยอะ
เอาทั้งหมดเลยเหรอครับ
ๆหมดเลย
There's a lot of toddy palms in this curry. Originally, I don't know why, but I envisioned just a few little strips of the toddy palm, almost like where you have a young coconut in a rich curry. But nope, this is the full deal here. The reason this dish is so famous is because it's the toddy palms. So right now we have to add a little bit of water because the toddy palms, the curry paste, the pala, the palm sugar make it really rich, really condensed, almost like a gravy. But the smell! Woo! All right, here it is, the moment of truth. The pork belly, the toddy palm, the rich curry. Oh, it smells good. Oh my God. Oh my. เมนูนี้ต้มปลาร้าหัวตาล ผมเห็นว่าจะมีหนึ่งในประวัติศาสตร์ของสิงห์บุรีที่อร่อยมากๆด้วยนะครับแล้วก็จะเป็นเมนูที่หาได้ยากมากเพื่อนผมอยู่กรุงเทพไม่เคยเห็นไม่เคยกินไม่รู้จักด้วยนะครับรวมถึงแดเนียล
วันนี้จะกลับไปกรุงเทพไหม
ครับ
กลับก็
ตักไป
ใส่ถุงไปฝากเขาถุง
She's gonna let me take this whole thing, this entire pot back to Bangkok with us tonight. Fantastic. Wow. ขอบคุณมากๆด้วยขอบคุณมากด้วยครับขอบคุณ Fantastic. Rich, creamy broth. It's herbaceous and it's got that savory umami type taste that only pala, that fermented fish in Thailand, can bring you. It's also sweet because of the palm sugar. And the pork belly, so tender, easy to chew, it melts in your mouth. But you combine all of those tastes together, and it is absolutely alright. My adventure here to Singbury to track down the famous Plara Hua Tan, fermented fish curry with toddy palm, has been tasty and colorful, to say the least. Now, the Hua Pa community is like so many charming places in Thailand where you stay for an afternoon and you feel like you know everybody, from Teacher Tuk to Uncle Yacht to all the chefs in the kitchen. Everybody contributed to this dish. And that's just the thing. It's not only the creative ingredients, it's the teamwork, it's that ingenuity, the innovation of the chefs at Hua Pa community that ushered in a new standard of culinary excellence in Thailand nearly 120 years ago. So if you're traveling through central Thailand, come here, come to Singbury, come to the Hua Pa community and track down the chefs to make the famous Plara Hua Tan, fermented fish curry with toddy palm. It's more than just a beautiful dish, a delicious dish. It's more about the colorful anecdotes of the community where it started. And to me, it represents that unbreakable link between history, culture, people, and food. This is The Edible Story, Thailand.